This is Amber Mills, and I'm doing my review of Urban Science Education for the Hip Hop Generation by Christopher Emdin. My overall thoughts on this book were that it was great. I really enjoyed reading this book. At first, I thought it was something I was going to be able to relate to, as I'm not part of the hip hop generation, so I thought that maybe I wasn't going to be able to understand the concepts shared in the book. But I was really surprised, and I thought it was a really great read. One of the quotes that Emdin made that really stood out to me was, "We cannot claim to value how students make sense of the world if we do not allow for the expression of their out-of-school knowledge." So the underlying theme that I found stood out most to me was just the overall concept of diversity and the lack of a lot of teachers to recognize this diversity within the classrooms. And I just thought that it was just constant throughout the book. It wasn't just I feel like it's not just the hip hop generation. It's all cultures and all diversities that we're lacking to recognize and accept within the classroom. Emdin discusses how students from the urban classrooms immersed in the hip-hop culture, or students of minority backgrounds, are constantly being put down, not just by, and I feel like this is not just by teachers, but also by peers. And I think as teachers, this is something we need to be able to recognize and, find ways to stop this in our classrooms and make our classrooms a good and good, safe, comfortable environment for all students. And I think when teachers aren't able to recognize this, it's due to their inability or unwillingness to relate or accept students that are diverse. And then sometimes, as he mentions in the book, this leads educators to have a sense of superiority over their students, and feel that the minority students or students of cultural different ethnic backgrounds are incapable of learning certain concepts like science, which is ridiculous. And it's that kind of thinking that puts these students down, and as he mentions in the book, causes them to act out. I feel that in this book, Dr. Emdin provides readers with the tools necessary to begin understanding how to assist students in urban schools by providing all students with through providing all students with opportunities to make connections to learning. So through reading this book and doing my own research about the main theme, I found that it's important that educators learn about and embrace the information, facts, skills, and abilities that make up all cultures. So not just the hip hop culture, even though that's also part of everything, but all cultures, all diversities, students of all diverse backgrounds. Emdin helps to create a symbolic toolkit that educators, including myself, can use to be successful in urban classrooms. And some of the tools he included throughout his book were co-generative dialogue, co-teaching, cosmopolitism, and context content. And then some of the traits that I gathered through everything to be a successful urban educator is having the ability to share authority with the students, providing relatable content and curriculum, fostering the inquiry and discovery of students, including hands-on activities, encouraging student success, willingness to accept cultural differences, respect of student values and beliefs, incorporation of student experiences, use of multiple teaching styles and strategies, and the ability to utilize culturally relevant pedagogical content knowledge. So making a difference, going forward from here, I feel like if these aren't addressed within the classrooms and educators don't try to make these connections with their students, he talks about in his book, there's always potential for student failure, undesired behaviors, like he talks about in his book, where teachers are seeing this hip hop kind of traits come into the classroom, but they're seeing it as disrespect when it's actually not, or if it is, it's like most likely due to the teacher. There's also the clash of power between students and teacher. In the book, he reminds us that we need to stop being threatened or scared of students and like cultural or hip hop behaviors, and we need to ourselves be made aware of the misunderstandings. We need to push towards um, understanding their differences and learning about their like who they are and what makes them um, like different. We need to be equal in the learning experience, so not holding back just because there's cultural differences. And then we need to explore new content together, so make it an all-encompassing learning experience where it's not just the students learning but also us, so because as teachers we need to grow throughout the course of our careers. And just overall remember that if the students are put down, they are not going to succeed. So we need to push all these students to do the best that they can by providing them the best environment, the best opportunities that we can. And that's it. Thank you for providing this book as part of the coursework. I really enjoyed it.